Hello, Twitter world. It's yours truly. Just kidding. It's me with another video. 13 minutes later. Um, what's going on, y'all? All right. So in this video, which I don't know if there's going to be multiple parts, it might be two parts. Because again, this is going to be my college experience. I guess a very brief overview. Um, it's when I started to balloon in weight, and I only went for one semester, and I dropped out. Um, and of course there will be a video on life after college, and but this is where my mental health took the biggest hit, and my physical health took the biggest hit. It was very bad. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I went to a college here in Louisiana for marine biology. And the reason I had chosen marine biology is because me being a genius saw Finding Nemo DVD special edition when I was about 10 or so, with a special mini documentary on a guy named Jacques Cousteau, who was a very famous marine biologist. Um, it's like 5 to 10 minutes long. Um, and I thought, dude, this is pretty fucking sweet. This dude is living life in the tropics, swimming around with pretty fish in a tropical reef and getting paid to do it. Like, dude, this is the fucking life. This is the dream right here. I'm like, dude, it's got two of my favorite things. I love fish and I love swimming. What more could you want out of a career? So from that point, I had told myself I want to be a marine biologist. I want to be like Jacques Cousteau. Without having no knowledge of what a marine biologist is, what they do, um, and how the fuck I would get a job in it. So that was, yes, that's that. Pretty much planned my entire life up until the point where I got into college on that. Oh man, looking back on it, that's so dumb. Oh man, that was pretty stupid. But yeah, so from that point on, telling everybody, oh, I want to be a marine biologist. Going up to high school, oh well, teachers ask you to write papers on what do you want to do when you go to college. What do you want to study? What do you want to do with your life? I want to be a marine biologist, and I'm going to study it in college, and I'm going to be like Jacques Cousteau. So that's what I told everybody, and what I told myself that I wanted to do for fuck a majority of my life. And I had never researched what it is, what they do, anything about them. I just know I wanted to be like Jacques Cousteau because that dude seemed to be living the dream. Um, so I applied for college under a biology degree. It's actually one of the top marine biology schools in the country, which makes sense being in Louisiana. We have a need for marine biologists to deal with coastal erosion and the deltas and the swamps and all that kind of business. So it's not like it's a bad career choice. It's really not, and I'm still interested in the field even after having researched it and finding out that it's nothing like Jacques Cousteau, uh, Jacques Cousteau's career. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I'm sorry. I keep posting tweets, so that's gonna happen. And I don't feel like muting my phone, so you guys are gonna hear that shit, and I don't care. Um. So, anyways, so going into college, I think I was roughly 280 pounds, standing at 5 foot 9.5. Um, Starting college. By the time I dropped out, and after Christmas break before I started working, I really think I got up to 300 pounds. Honestly, truly believe that. Um, Anyhow, we'll get to that. So, starting off, obviously it's very scary. Um, I stayed in a dorm with three guys. One of them, thankfully, was a guy who actually went to my high school, who was a grade above me. So I had seen him around. and we had actually come pretty cool. Um, I don't talk to him much nowadays. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's doing his own thing. He's got a girlfriend. He's still in college and all that kind of business. So he's living his life. I'm living my life. It's not like it's on purpose. Um, hey, but you know who you are if you're watching this for, again, whatever fucking reason. I have no clue how many people are actually going to see this. Um, Shout out to you, man. You made my experience a little bit easier. So I appreciate you for that. Um, but yeah, I had 3 roommates. One of them I had literally only seen before. So that helped. I'm in a strange place. Um, Pretty much moved out of my mom's house and moved into the dorm and just started going to classes. I don't know what else to tell you. Um, and it started off weird. Not in like something happened that made it weird. It was weird. It was uncomfortable. It was out of my comfort zone. It was a school I'd never been to before. School I didn't know anybody at. Um, and it was just a very uncomfortable experience, which it's gonna be. It's a big step in life to go to college. So it was about as uncomfortable as anyone would expect starting college would be. Um, Starting out, obviously, it was a lot of work, uh, but I had managed to kind of, I guess, keep it in check, uh, and that lasted about 2 weeks, and then everything just started to spiral out of control. My main days were on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I went to class from 7:30 to 2:30. Hour-long classes with an hour for lunch. Um, Wednesday I had lab, which is a 1 hour and a half session. Um, Monday I had what did I have on Monday? Monday was literally just one class, university prep. That was it. Then I went home and went back to sleep. I think. I don't fuck. What did I do on Mondays? Yeah, I think it was university prep. And then I just chilled. And then I just studied the rest of the day pretty much. And then I was off on Fridays. I had Fridays off, which was actually really fucking cool. 3-day weekend every week. That was something I could get used to. And Mondays were a joke of a day. So I mean, if you really want to call it, you can call it a 4-day weekend every weekend. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty fucking cool. Um, but then the work started piling up. Um, Classes kept going. Let's see, in the main classes that I like to talk about was chemistry and biology, because those were, instead of, for example, a 105 class, they were a 155 class, which were classes for biology majors. They were designed to go faster because you have to go through more information to get your degree in that. Those kind of fucked me up, like big time. Because and I'm just using chemistry and biology as an example. I had chemistry and biology every Tuesday and Thursday for an hour. And we went through one chapter a day. So if you want to think about it like this, every 2 weeks we had an exam. Every 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, we would have 4 classes. In those 4 classes, we would cover 4 chapters collectively. So that was one chapter a day. Compared to high school, where it was, okay, you study a chapter for a week, then take a test on it at the end of the week. You have a whole week to do homework, do reading, do studying on that one chapter, and then take a test on it. So off the bat, I was falling behind. And as the semester grew on, the work got immensely harder, to the point where even for studying for hours and hours and hours, I still had no clue what the fuck I was looking at. So that really took a toll on my mental health. It's like I'm devoting all of my free time, all of it, studying, and it's not sticking. You know what I mean? Um, and it was making me doubt myself. Am I studying wrong? Am I just a fucking idiot? Am I not studying enough, even though I'm studying so much already? Is this what college is going to be like for the next 6 years? I didn't know, and it really fucked with me. It really, really, really fucked with me. Taking tests, I would get 70s, 60s. And this is at the beginning of the semester. So I wasn't that far behind at this point. But again, I was still far behind. The only class that I actually did well in was English. English composition. I am a bullshitter. I can write you a 5-page essay on something that doesn't exist. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm a pretty good writer. And I kind of thought to myself very briefly, maybe I should just switch to an English major, because that's what my strongest is. That's what my strong suit is. But that quickly went away after 5 minutes, after thinking that I would have to take English classes for the rest of my life. And then probably become an English teacher, because let's be honest, if I'm not going to be an author, I'm probably going to be an English teacher with an English degree. And that sounds like the seventh circle of hell. That sounds pretty damn bad. For me. If you like English, you genuinely enjoy it, go ahead. You do you, boo. And I'll do me. And I'll do anything but English. So that was a sharp no. So, as the semester grew on, my mental health was deteriorating. I wasn't getting hardly any sleep. I was depressed all the time. And not like some light depression about something that was out of my control. There are things you can be depressed about. Stuff that's out of your control is irrational. Stuff that is in your control is very rational and very draining. And it's not something to play with. I never got to the point where I was considering the unthinkable, and I'm glad every day that thought never entered my mind. But I know for some people it does. And that's what scares me. Because now, as I've gone through these experiences, and even though I'm 19, I've lived through a good bit. I can honestly say that it gets better. It does. Even if the situation doesn't change. It may take days, weeks, months, years. Even if the situation does not change, your perspective will. And your perspective is what needs to change first. In my opinion. I'm not licensed psychiatrist. I'm just a guy who's been through shit. But I can honestly say that it will get better. And when your perspective changes, your mood changes. And the way you go about fixing that issue changes. And it changes in a good way. Because you start thinking rationally. You start thinking clearly. And you start thinking of clear solutions to either get through the situation or fix it. So perspective is very important to me. And I'll explain that later. Once I, get to the point where I'm out of college. That's where I really had my mental breakthrough. But yeah, so aside from the academic standpoint of this, I was getting fatter. I was depressed eating. I didn't have any money. I had something called it's like a debit card for my college that, with a meal plan, automatically deposits X amount of money to use for the semester. And they had a Chick-fil-A in the parking lot, and you can use the debit card there. So if I wasn't eating Chick-fil-A because I had already had it 4 times that week, I was eating a cup of noodles. 2 of them. Sometimes even 3. Not because I was hungry, but because at the time, the way that I sort of got by on my depression and mental health issues, I just ate. I would bite my fingers, not my fingernails, but the skin around my fingers until I bled. I still have the scars. You'll have to apologize. I didn't fucking cut my nails, so they're pretty long. But you can see I still have scars. I do occasionally bite my fingers, and my fucking fingernails are dirty. I'm sorry. I work at a collision center. Excuse me. I apologize. But you see I was kind of biting on this one today just because it was a pretty hectic day at work. But it's nowhere near as bad as it was in college. In college, my fingers would bleed. Every single one of them. Either side of my nail were bleeding constantly. I would just have my fingers in my mouth all the time. And it was so bad. It was so bad. And now I'm going to say these people's names. Just their first names. They know who they are. But I love you both dearly. Because you two truly got me through that semester in college. And, I just want to personally thank both of you, Terrell and Ashley. Hopefully you guys watch these videos. I love you guys. Alright, I know, Ashley, we don't talk that much anymore. You're doing your own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I still love you. Alright? Terrell, you're doing your own thing. I'm doing my own thing. You're the bro forever. I fucking love you, dog. You guys truly got me through this shit. And I appreciate you both for that a lot. Yeah, so, I'm very thankful that I had both of them. They helped me. But, as the semester went on, my grades were getting worse and worse. I was getting way behind in everything. I was so behind in some classes that it was affecting other classes that I had no problem with. And it was just bad. It was so bad. I was having anxiety attacks at 5 in the morning after studying for goddamn 10 hours. And it was just the worst experience of my life, honestly. And I know different people have different experiences. And some people love college. They join frats. Whatever. They live the college life. And that's awesome. That is great for you. I know that college is capable of that. But for me, it was just, honestly, the worst experience of my life. In these 19 years I've been on this earth, I'd be hard-pressed to find out if something could have been worse than that. And I hope that remains true, because I don't ever want to go through anything like that ever again in my life. So, here's to hoping. But yeah, so I think I'm going to end it there. The next video is going to be technically a part 2 of college. After that semester is the winter break. That was a whole month that involved, dropping out and thinking about working and all this kind of business. So that's going to be the next episode. This one was sort of the actually in college experience. hope I got everything. I managed to keep it at 20 minutes, so that's pretty good. I'm trying not to go past like 30 minutes, honestly. But you never know. So I think I'm gonna call it for this episode, and go from there. I'll be recording the next one shortly. It is 4:33. I will be saying the time progression so you can see how long I've been up doing this shit and how little time I'm taking to even remotely, because I'm doing this all live, raw, unedited. I'm not editing shit. So when I film it, it's done. One take. I am, the first thing that comes to my head, I say. I'm not editing shit. I'm just fucking, I'm telling my story, dude. Alright, so that wraps up episode 3. I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, y'all.